If you are thinking about living in Palm Beach Gardens, better yet, if you're thinking about moving to Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, this is a video for you. In this video, we are going to talk about the pros and cons of living and moving to Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. My name is Ray Fernandez. I'm with Living in Palm Beach, Florida, powered by eXp Luxury. Welcome. Palm Beach Gardens, Florida is the most asked about area that we take calls from. There's a couple of ones that really stand out. Palm Beach Gardens at the top. Possibly one of the reasons for that is it is the home of one of the biggest master plan communities in the area. At the end of this video, we are going to review some of the specific communities that people are moving to. So if you're thinking about moving to this area, stick around to the end. 18 years ago, my family relocated to this beautiful part of the world we call South Florida, and we haven't looked back. Today, we truly find honor to help people perhaps like you do the exact same thing. If you're thinking about moving to this area, anywhere in South Florida, whether it's Palm Beach Gardens or anywhere in the area, and you want to ask questions from people who have actually done it before, well, there's a couple of ways to get hold. There's a few ways to get a hold of us. Down below is our email address. That's one great way. Also on the screen, you see our phone number. You can either call or text that number. But literally two of the best ways is in the description in the comments section. There's a link. Click on that link. What that'll do is have some time for us to speak, either through a phone call, through a Zoom, whatever way you feel most comfortable. In any case, we have your back when it comes to relocating here, sunny South Florida. Before I get into the nitty-gritty of the pros and cons, let me give you a little bit of backdrop of what this area is about. First off, I'm on the island of Palm Beach. I'm not in Palm Beach Gardens, actually, but Palm Beach Gardens up that way. Later, we're going to go to the map. About a year and a half ago, roughly, we put out a video, the pros and cons of moving to Palm Beach Gardens. That was done mainly from the studio, and there's a really detailed map version of what we're talking about today. If you're interested in this area, I recommend watching this, obviously, and that video. There's a lot there. It is, believe it or not, Palm Beach Gardens is the largest town in Palm Beach in area. It is bigger than West Palm Beach, which I personally did not realize until recently. It is 2 miles larger than the biggest city population-wise, West Palm Beach, within Palm Beach, Florida. I'll just cut to the chase right now with one pro, just to start things off. One of the pros when it comes to moving and living in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida is there is a ton to do. Palm Beach Gardens is the home of, I'll talk more about this later, it is the home of the Gardens Mall, and it's the home of downtown at the Gardens. More on that later. Downtown Palm Beach Gardens has got a lot going for it. When you compare it to other places such as Boca Raton and southern part of Palm Beach, it has a distinct personality. But that's one of the pros when it comes to moving to Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, is there's just a lot to do there. So where are we? Palm Beach Gardens is about 77 miles north of Miami, Florida, the biggest city. We are still part of the South Florida area, the Tri-County area. Population is roughly 59,000. When you live if you live in a suburb, I'd like to think of Palm Beach Gardens as a big suburb. I love it. The sun's coming up. It's one of the beauties about moving to Florida, especially Palm Beach, Florida, is you get beautiful mornings like this. I love coming out here early in the morning. Look, there's not that many people that are taking advantage of it. I think I think people who are not coming are crazy. There's just a lot of water sports and stuff to do here. I'm going to touch on that later. But what I want to say in regards to Palm Beach and Palm Beach Gardens, and that whole area is, if you are a golfer, it's one of the, so this is a pro if you are a golfer. Florida is the #1 state for golf. Within Florida, the #1 county for golfers is Palm Beach. You have even on Jupiter Island, which is right near Palm Beach Gardens, there's the highest density of professional golfers live there. So again, if you are a golfer, that's one of the pros to moving and living in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. Okay, on the sports theme, let's continue there. Spring training. In this area, this is like the capital now for baseball spring training. Right adjacent to Palm Beach Gardens is the in Jupiter. Actually, it's on the borderline of Jupiter in a place called Apicola. It is the Roger Dean Stadium. It is the spring training home of the St. Louis Cardinals and the Florida Marlins. Also in the area, we have the New York Mets up north in Port St. Lucie. We have in West Palm Beach now, we have the Houston Astros and the Washington Nationals. So if you are a sports person, whether it's golf or baseball, this is an area that you're gonna like. One of the pros when it comes to living in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, is it's a lot newer here. So if you go to this is Palm Beach. It's basically as far east you can go. West Palm Beach, this big city, the biggest city is that way. Everything up this way is northern Palm Beach. Everything down that way is southern Palm Beach. And I say this because the northern part of Palm Beach is newer. The southern part is more established. So one of the pros when it comes to moving and living in Palm Beach Gardens, it's a lot newer. The roads are just different. I mean, over time, we get a little bit better with planning, city planning and so forth. So in general, things are newer. It's better planned. And that's the reason why there's more to do there and more space for it. It also helps with the traffic. So one of the cons when it comes to moving, not to Palm Beach Gardens, but moving to the southern part of the county, if you're moving to Boca Raton or Delray Beach, it is super crowded down there compared to up here. So one of the pros when it comes to moving to Palm Beach Gardens is it's less crowded. But let me elaborate a little bit more on some of the things that are around Palm Beach Gardens. It's why people are moving here. There's a big thing, again, stick around to the end. I'm going to give you specifics on communities that people are moving to. But one of the reasons why people are moving here because of those things, and it's centered around a city that has a lot to do with the Gardens Mall and the downtown at the Gardens. To elaborate on some of the things to do here in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, let's go to the map.
Here is an overview look of the satellite map of Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. I'm going to zoom out a little bit so you can get a sense where we are. This is something I want to highlight. West Palm Beach, as you can see, everything pretty much north of West Palm Beach in Palm Beach County is northern Palm Beach. That and Palm Beach Gardens is part of that. Anything south is South Palm Beach, obviously. Places like Lantana, Boca Raton, Boynton Beach, Delray Beach. But here, in general, the northern part of Palm Beach is younger, less developed than the southern part, which was sort of developed earlier. So it's a little bit more rural, to be honest with you, even though it's not that rural. Palm Beach in general, the county of Palm Beach, is like one big suburb. We are looking here. So lots of times you say, where's the beach? So this video is being done on some of it on the beach, but it's really not on the beach per se. If you were to go take PGA Boulevard all the way through and go here, you'll basically end up on Singer Island, which is here. This part here is Singer Island. And for some reason, they never really label it, but this is Singer Island. And a lot of condos and whatnot in Singer Island. But so that's the beaches that you're going to use. If you live in Gardens, the beaches you're going to use is, number one, you're going to use Juno Beach. And I'm going to show you actually, let me continue. Let me go back to what I was saying originally. I'm zooming out a little bit. This is the county of Palm Beach, just to give you an idea. And there's Boca, and we're going up to Jupiter. This is Palm Beach. This is about 40 miles north to south, Boca to Jupiter. And if you look, as you can tell from the map, most of the population is on the coast. As we develop Florida more, there is more development west. All the new construction is west. Like Westlake they call it still Florida's newest city. It was only established in 2016 and really started only building around 2018. So it's a pretty new city. Wellington's a little bit more established. It's a polo capital of the world, winter equestrian capital of the world. But and in Gardens, you have Avenir. We're going to talk a little bit more about the hottest new construction community in all of South Florida is in Palm Beach Gardens. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. That's going to be out this way in one of the nicest, Panther National, one of the nicest, it's just opening now, one of the nicest private golf courses literally in the world. So now as I zoom in, and when we zoomed out, now we're going to zoom in a little bit. So what you'll find here, and I'm going to go through some of this in my dialogue there later, but from the map perspective, you have, this is sort of the central part of Gardens. Oh, look at this place. This place blows. I never saw that. That's awesome. It's a sponsored ad. That's awesome. This is your Gardens Mall right here. This is it's the nicest mall in the area, in my opinion. I'm going to say this again. People in Boca Raton will probably say, no, the Boca Town Center is better. No, it's not. Boca people, leave a comment down below. If you vote for Boca, I'd like to know. Tell me down below if you think, or if you think there's a better beach in the Florida area, because some people, by all intents and purposes, some people think the Gardens Mall is the nicest mall in Florida. And that's this big thing here. To the left here, or a little bit further west, this is downtown at the Gardens. Area is it started hot, cold. It's been cold, hot. It's hot again. They're building it up. This whole area, this downtown at the Gardens, is getting built up again. They have this big cinema down there. They've got a lot of nice restaurants in here. It used to be a great Yard House has been there since the beginning. And you've got a lot of financial stuff around here, like KeyBank, this kind of, like some of the like the financial services companies are in this area. You've got the Landmark over here. I got to show it. This is, as you can tell, they got it's a nice Landmark at the Gardens. You have some nice condo areas here. Condos are an issue. So if you're considering a condo, something that you need to talk to us. All right. Look at the video over there. If I'll point it out, that's a thumbnail from a video we did. There is a risk with condos, but the newer ones are less of a risk, but that's one of them. So zooming out, this is like your downtown Gardens area. The mall, the downtown at the Gardens. We'll be talking a little bit about these areas, and this is where you're going. The main road through Gardens is PGA Boulevard, which is right here. This area, as we zoom out, when we go, this is like a big intersection. Military Trail and PGA is a pretty intense intersection. It's also near 95, the main road in the area that goes north and south. The Turnpike is further west, which is another one that does it. But anyways, everything down here, once you get west of 95 and more importantly, Military Trail, this stuff all here is, they call it, I'm not sure if I can see it labeled here. Yeah, there we go. PGA Commons. PGA Commons, if you live in Gardens, you will find yourself going to PGA Commons often. In general, PGA Commons and is one of those places where there's just a lot going on. You'll find people that whether it's restaurants, it is a hard place to park at certain times. Across the street, and I'll tell you more, I'm going to do more. I don't want to get too far away from the map thing portion of it, but across the street is Midtown. But this whole area is quite exciting in North Palm Beach. All right, continuing on, Rocco's Tacos. They have a lot of condos back here, or they're like single family type of homes. I know people who live back here and hate it because you have people, you have restaurants nearby, and like if you live in these places here, you have people pulling in your driveway and parking and blocking you out. and I can't say blame them. As you go further, these are older condos here. As we go further, I got to get to this. This is like the golf area. So this is a Baton Isles is a membership community, high end. This one here, North Palm, high end. And anyways, these are older sections compared to what we're going to talk about later, Avenir. It's big money. If I show you listings in these homes, let me just like zoom in a couple of these things. These are like $10 million homes. A lot of it's location. You're on a golf course nearby here. And then we're going to go further west, and you have Mirasol is another one. It's parts of it are membership. Membership means that you need to join the club. It's mandatory in some cases, membership to join the club. High initiation fee and ongoing social fee every year. People, you have to be into that kind of lifestyle. It's a different lifestyle. Reach out to our team. We see a lot of people who don't like it. That's why we don't always highlight it. Panther National is one of the nicest. If you're looking at a membership community, that's the nicest. It truly is. But it's a high-end community. You need about $5 million to get in there. So here's way back when this was a hot community going back before the turn of the century. All this is PGA National. They got great golf courses in this area, and they have the PGA. They've hosted the PGA National. More on that. They've done so many golf tournaments at the PGA National Resort. It's a nice, and they've been in the process over the last couple of years redoing it. The Honda Classic is there all the time, and the reason why I went with a client to Panther National, and there's always been talk, not always, but recently there's been talk that the Honda Classic was going to move to Panther National. And it sounds like that's not the case. I was told that that's going to be the case and all this, but what this gentleman told me makes sense. You can, at PGA National, that older golf course, you have several other golf courses. It takes a lot of time to prepare, these events. And if you shut down PGA Panther National Golf, and these people are going to be mad. They're buying on a high-end community and they can't golf, they'd be mad. PGA National is more suited to handle that kind of activity. So in general, as I zoom out, before I zoom out, let me go to show you what I was talking about Avenir. If you go down here, this is where Avenir is. I'm going to talk to you more about that later. Later. It's 5,000 acres out here, and only 2,500 of which is being built on. This is the hottest section in all of South Florida, and for good reason. We have most of our business, the beginning part of this year, came from this area, and there's a good story to be told. If you're interested in learning about this, go to our videos on Apex, Avondale, and anything Avenir, because I can't really. This is more about the pros and cons of Palm Beach Gardens, but that's a big story when it comes to the story of Palm Beach Gardens, Florida.
I hope you found that helpful. But let me start now. I did a couple of cons. A couple of pros. Let me go to one of the cons. So downtown at the Gardens, we talked about what there is a lot to do there and all that. But I've been here a while now. I've been living here 18 years. They're cleaning the beach here. Look at this. They're really good at taking care of the beaches here in Palm Beach, Florida. It's one of the pros when it comes to moving to Palm Beach. They have all these. You see these? I don't know how easy it is to see. They have these little areas roped off. Those are for sea turtles. That's sea turtle nesting there, and they don't want you to disturb their nest because those little creatures will hatch there and walk out into the ocean and start their new life. In any event, one of the cons when it comes to moving to Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, is that downtown at the Gardens area. Because I moved here 18 years ago, it was vibrant. It was like a hot place to be. And everyone was going there. There was tons of restaurants, kids events and all kinds of stuff. And then it just died. That area became a ghost town. What happened was, and this is a factor of commercial real estate, they The rents were too high. Whoever bought that piece of property, the developer who bought that property, bought it at too high of a price. The rents he passed on were too high. They couldn't make enough money to sustain it, and then it just became a ghost town. Now, as we have a new ownership and the place was bought at lower prices, we have more and more people coming in there. Yes, it's more affordable right now. They're calling it they're calling it downtown at the Gardens reimagined, and it's good to see because that is the center of Palm Beach Gardens. And if you go along PGA Boulevard, there's just a ton to do. As you sort of see on the map, there's downtown at the Gardens. There's the Gardens Mall. You have PGA Commons, which if you live in the area, you're going to go to PGA Commons a lot. A lot of nice restaurants, and also the across the street there's Midtown. Both are very, very good. Midtown's a little bit more sleepier. It's more of a bigger restaurants. But let me go over another con. One of the cons when it comes to moving to Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, is if you do go out to a restaurant in that area, as an example, the Palm Beach Commons, PGA Commons area, the traffic, the parking is ridiculous. They will rope off that area, and they will do valets, and that they try to make it easy. I hate valet in my car personally, but they do it. And in general, whether it's a valet or not a valet, it can be hard to park in one of the more popular areas of Palm Beach Gardens. So if I have to say, if that's a con, I will call that a con. One of the cons when it comes to moving and living in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, is it's hard to park in some of the most popular areas in the city. One of the pros when it comes to living in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, is there's a ton of restaurants, tons of unique restaurants. So I mentioned it is like the most popular place people ask for when asking about the area town-wise. I'm going to compare it to the number 2 place, which is Wellington. We get a lot of people that ask about Wellington because it has a reputation for having good schools. So those are like the top 2, Palm Beach Gardens and Wellington. The difference in restaurants is Wellington is a lot of chain type of restaurants. There are some unique restaurants, so don't kill me don't kill me. Leave me a comment. If you live in the area, leave a comment down below. I'd like to get your thoughts on this. But in general, I find as a whole, there's more like chain-ish type restaurants in Wellington. Palm Beach Gardens has a lot of unique restaurants. They move around a little bit. There was Texas to Brazil is one of my favorites. The concept of it is one of my favorites. When we lived in New York City, a Brazilian churrascaria, that was awesome. You have the red disc, the green disc, you turn it on and off. Anyways, if you've been to churrascaria, again, leave a comment down below. But in general, there are restaurants that are unique to Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. And the second best place, in my opinion, for restaurants in the area is just north of there in Jupiter, another batch of great restaurants. So between Palm Beach Gardens and Jupiter, there's a ton of restaurants and a ton to do in that area. One of the cons when it comes to moving and living in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, is it's not on the beach. Yes, I know I'm filming this from the beach. If you were to take the road, PGA Boulevard, the main road through Palm Beach Gardens, it goes right into Singer Island, which is made up of more condos. It's not like a public beach like this, but you will find yourself going to Juno Beach, as I've mentioned in the map segment, and that's some of the nicest beaches between Jupiter Beach and Juno Beach. Those are the nicest, in my opinion, in Palm Beach, Florida. So if you live in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, you're not exactly on the beach, but you have access to one of the best beaches on the whole East Coast of the United States. All right, let's look at this from an aspect of where to live in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. As I mentioned to you, I'm glad you guys are stuck around. We're going to talk about some of the areas. As you probably have heard and read about or heard on YouTube or read in the newspaper, there's a big problem with condos here in South Florida. It's actually not even just South Florida, it's all of Florida. There have been some significant regulatory increases when it comes to condos. I've listed a couple of condos recently where their association fees have literally doubled because they weren't taking into account for reserves. So there's a little bit of a taboo on on condos. So we do mostly, like 95% of our business is in single families. That's one of the reasons. Reach out to our team. I can give you an idea why there's still a risk. We did a video on that right there on condo risk. And that's one of the things that if you're buying in this area, you need to be aware of. But if I were to buy a condo, there are a couple places I would definitely consider. They listed newer. The older ones are mainly where the issues arise. But in a place called Lake Park, it's going to be it's going to be a huge change in that area for the good. There's Nautilus 220. That is an amazing condo. The concept is incredible. So if I were looking at condos in this area, that would be one I would choose. Now, the biggest growth in Palm Beach in general and for Palm Beach Gardens is out west as you go further west. Before I go there, on the way there are two really good new construction communities. One's getting ready to close out, which is Artistry. The Coulters is the builder. Coulter, Kolter, is the builder. If you go into these, don't walk into these sales centers on your own. Reach out to our team for independent representation. I can help you we can help guide you as what you need to do when you do it. Just please don't do it. I'm not going to elaborate too much on that in this video. But there's that. There's also Alton. Alton is really popular. No, prices on those are basically around $1.5 million, upwards of $3 million. So it's higher. As you get closer to the beach, places are more money. These houses back here, these are like, the average price on Palm Beach Island is about $13 million right now. This is a whole different ballgame. Prices in general for Palm Beach County, the numbers came out a couple of days ago. For the county as a whole, the median price is $640,000. So it is affordable. Don't think that you think of Palm Beach and I don't have $13 million. I don't have $13 million to spend on a house tomorrow either. But $645,000 is the average price. And there are pockets of better value, and I'm going to talk about one in a second. Palm Beach Gardens, the median price is about $1 million now. That's gone up a lot. It's been a great investment. It's been a great investment to be part of Palm Beach Gardens. It's obviously the cost. Obviously the pricing is higher because the people perceive there's more value in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. So in terms of value, we see a lot of people moving out to the master plan community of Avenir. I got to get here because this is the biggest story in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida is Avenir at Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. We have done a lot of business there the last couple of years. This community started pre-COVID, and people got in early, got amazing deals, and there are still good deals there. There is one of the reasons why this area will I feel hold its value is because the proximity to one of the nicest new private communities, Panther National. Got to do a video on that. I think I mentioned in the map section. I will do a video on that. It is, again, we talked about golf. This is one of the reasons why people move here. It is because of the golfers move here is because of opportunities like that. So if you live in Avondale, which is right next to literally right across the street from Panther National, you could buy a home there even lower than $1 million. We've done a few transactions in there that were just under $1 million. So you live next to homes that are like $5-10 million. So that's one of the benefits of that area. There are lots of different segments. I've got a lot of different video on Avenir. There are lots of sub-community videos I've done too. There's Watermark. There's Latieri. There is Coral Isles. We previewed a $2 million house in Avenir. That was a Coral Isle house. I have a listing video from we listed a $2 million house in Apex. Apex is one of the hottest areas in Avenir. It's one of the hottest areas in Palm Beach Gardens. There's a new community coming up in literally a few months from now. By the time this video is actually released, They'll be right on the cusp of coming out. So if you're looking at an intriguing, getting in on the ground floor type of opportunities, reach out to our team. We'd love to help you in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. I literally love making these videos. But as much as I love making these videos, I love even more helping people, perhaps like you, consider moving to this area we call Palm Beach, Florida. My piece of advice when it comes to moving is do your homework. We've helped so many people. We're living in Palm Beach, Florida. We help so many people relocate to this area. And I have found that the people who get the best result in terms of happiness and the better price for the house and every aspect of their relocating and their move is the people who have done their homework. Let us help you understand what it's about when it comes to moving and living here in Palm Beach, Florida. Palm Beach Gardens, paradise here in South Florida.